It's things like this that make me question where we're going as a people in this country. I'm going to read you guys an article about some killings that have been going on in LA. It says the recent rise in shootings over the last few days in South Los Angeles is due to a bet that was made between two local gangs last week to see if they can kill 100 people in 100 days. Social media users have been warning people to avoid the area around Western and Normandy avenues in South Los Angeles. Proof of the danger occurred over the weekend when one person was shot dead and 12 were wounded after more than 6 shootings. This included a 4-year-old boy who was wounded alongside his 11-year-old brother and mother in a shooting. The shooter is still yet to be caught. Across the internet, the hashtag 100 days, 100 nights started to do their rounds, which has sickeningly been used to try to promote the clash. The two Los Angeles gangs are betting which one will be able to kill 100 people over the next 100 days, and they're not bothered if their victims are in a gang or are innocent. According to the Daily Beast, this contest was orchestrated last week following the death of KP, a member of the Rolling 100 gang. Now, I don't know how ignorant this is. And, what puzzles me about, this whole gang banging shit, has been going on all across the country. It's not just in LA. And I know a lot of people who don't live in California/LA, you think that, it's just gang infested everywhere. People are, banging on each other left and right. And it's not like that. And actually, over the last couple of years, gang bang has decreased. It's calmed down in LA. But here we have it. All it takes is one or two ignorant motherfuckers to come out here and spread some hate, spread some ignorance, and you got a whole bunch of other people with slave minds jump on board. Now, what puzzles me about this whole thing is that these people will go out here, terrorize their own community, okay? Shoot and kill children that are minding their own business, shooting innocent people, but they won't fuck with massa. And that's what, really questions me about this whole thing. They won't go after massa. They won't do 100 days, 100 nights against George Zimmerman or these people who are practicing police brutality or racism. Now, here in America, racism is at, a level that we haven't seen it in years. They're killing us left and right. You got racist vigilantes that are taking the law in their own hands and, gunning our children down and getting away with it. You got people, setting up false suicides. And if anybody out there lives in LA, you know how the LAPD is. It's like every day you're damn near harassed by the LAPD in some type of way. And I find it to be, very strange, very sickening, and very ignorant for these gangbangers in 2015 to not be able to wake up, look around there and say, you know what? Fighting over a block, fighting over, a color, fighting over some girl, or fighting over the fact that, some ignorant person shot one of your family members, and now you feel like that gives you the authorization to go and terrorize everybody in the community. They haven't realized in 2015 that this is for the birds, and we are not each other's enemies. Well, some of us are, apparently according to this, some of us are, but we have to understand that the person that looks like you, that lives in your community, that's trying to make it day to day and facing the same issue that you're facing, is not the person you need to be gunning down. And, I don't know what's going on with this shit out here nowadays, because it's like, every time you look up, we have people within our community who have a slave mindset, who can't recognize who the true enemy is. Now, I will be all, for these cats. They say, you know what? For 100 days and 100 nights, we're gonna go out here and we're gonna push the black agenda. For 100 days or 100 nights, we're gonna make sure George Zimmerman and Darren Wilson, everybody else who has gunned down our children, we're gonna make them pay. And when I say pay, I don't necessarily mean killing them, but I do mean pay. You won't do that because you scared to go against the system. You scared of Massa hitting your ass with that whip. You scared of that. But you go and you kill somebody that's living in the same community as you, that looks like you. And from what I was reading, this guy that was in, the Rolling 100. I know if you guys are not familiar with the LA gangs, you got the Rolling 60s, the Rolling 70s. It's sectioned off according to the block you live in. But according to what I've read, this guy turned his life around. He was a single parent father, took care of his children, decided to, stop the gang banging and, stop the violence and the negativity he was doing in his life and within his community to make sure he would be there for his children. And this man really changed his life around. He was on the right path and somebody took him out. Why? I don't know. It could have been from past altercations. It could have been just somebody who, knew him, knew he was affiliated with that gang. Because a lot of times, especially the OGs in LA, a lot of these guys have grown up. They wise up and they realize that this gang banging stuff, us going out here, selling poison to our people, killing each other is not the way to go. So a lot of OGs have wisened up and on the right path. They might still somewhat represent the set they were from, but they're not heavily active in the streets as they once was. Because what we saw in the 90s and the heavy gang activity in the 80s with the crack epidemic and everything, a lot of these guys, the real gangsters and the real gang members that were out here putting in work, a lot of these guys are wising up. But see, what's happened is that you got a lot of these young bullheaded dudes out here that don't really know what the gang's about, don't really know the destruction that they're contributing to, grew up without fathers, don't have any guidance. So all it takes is one ignorant person to throw something on Instagram and Twitter, and you got a whole bunch of other ignorant people following them. But my word out to y'all that's out here in this gang banging bullshit in LA, y'all cut this shit out because, kids are getting ready to go back to school. You have kids walking to school. You got people that got to hop on the bus to get to and from back to work. You got people's mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers out living their daily life, and people are now petrified to walk outside their door in fear that they might get shot down for no apparent reason because of some bullshit Twitter trend called 100 Days and 100 Nights. And this is the slave mindset at its finest. And we really got to get it together. So, I mean, me, like I said before in my previous video, I know what it's like to, lose a close friend or lose a family member to violence. I've seen a lot of that in my life. I know what it's like. You don't think I want to go out there and catch revenge? Absolutely. But you have to think. You have to use your mind. You have to think about how your actions are not only going to affect you, affect your family, but affect your community. And you have to make smart decisions. But, to my OGs out there, snatch these little young dudes up, get them in line. For you youngins that's out there, and you guys are participating in this, or some of you guys I know don't even gang bang, but you want to feel cool, or your uncle or your cousin might be in the gang, so you feel like you part of it. Y'all cut this bullshit out, because what's going to happen is karma comes right back around you, and it's going to end up being your sibling, your mother, your father, somebody in your family that's going to get gunned down, or you're going to end up behind bars working for 25 cents an hour. But let's get it together out here. I'm out.